Hey everybody, this is Mr. View, and today we're going to continue on with China, right? One of the global powers in the world right now, and one of our kind of borderline enemies, I guess you could say. They are communist since World War II, when Mao Zedong and his group defeated the nationalists and took over China. And they took the land away from the rich, redistributed it to the poor, ended private ownership of businesses, and so on and so forth. So he had that Great Leap Forward, which was disastrous between 1959 and 1961, and 30 million people starved to death in China. But we know it's not like that today. Things have definitely changed. So Mao Zedong, he died in 1979, and a guy named Deng took over. And immediately he starts to change the way China does stuff. He believes that they should modernize, right? And so he wanted these four things to change, or four areas to change within China: agriculture slash farming, science, industry, and defense. And we know that China is one of the strongest countries in the world right now. So obviously, he did some things that worked. So he does allow some private ownership of businesses, which is a big change from what Mao was offering, right? Everything was government owned under Mao, but under Deng, that changed. He allowed private ownership. So they had to give a cut to the government. Oh, show, right? They had to, whatever they gave to the government was great. And then after that, they could keep their profits. So that encouraged industry a lot. And industry boomed after this, right? The economy grew rapidly because now there was an incentive. If everybody's going to get the same no matter what, you don't work so hard. But if I've got the chance to go up here and make more money and have more stuff, human nature says that I'll do that and that I'll try to get more stuff than the person next to me. So it does work. The economy does boom under Deng. He also changed farming. He gave plots of land to the poor peasants and they could have it individually, but a cut had to go to the government. After that cut, the farmers could keep or sell any of the stuff that they grew. So here's the government's cut, here's mine, and I can sell it and make some money and get better stuff. And so that helped farming take a jump forward also. So allowing private ownership of businesses and farms helped China advance tremendously. The economy grows a lot. One reason the economy grows is prison labor. They threw a lot of people in jail, especially if you didn't agree with the communist ideas. So they had these prisoners, and they had them work in factory type situations. So they prison labor, which was free, was producing goods, and these goods were very cheap. So they could export all these goods, and people would buy them because they were so cheap. People in the United States, right? Made in China. We buy all these goods because our labor costs money. Theirs did not. So they were able to sell those items very cheaply. With all this stuff, inequality grew. Remember, everybody was here, and now people are starting to make more money, and they're going up here. And that causes crime to raise. It's been said that the greatest problem, or the cause of crime, is the unequal distribution of wealth, right? If somebody's rich and somebody's poor, this guy wants what he has, so he goes and takes it. And that creates crime and robberies and things like that. So crime did raise with the inequality gap. The population in China, we know, is huge, right? It's 1.6 billion ish today. And the population went up and up and up and up. And so that's a real problem in China. So they tried to stop it. They weren't out there killing babies. What they were doing, though, is they were giving rewards for people who only had one baby. If you had more than one baby, then you would be fined, or you wouldn't get the medical benefits, or you wouldn't get other extras that the people with one or less had. So there was a big benefit to having one child or no children, and there was punishments for those people who had two. One bad offshoot of this was female infanticide. That means the killing of female children. Um, the Chinese valued the male babies more than the female babies. So if you were only allowed one, they really wanted that boy. The baby girl might be left alone or left to die, or abandoned. Critics were jailed or are jailed within China today. There's a ton of censorship, right? The internet is not just everything goes in China. Facebook is banned, and all these other things, these forms of freedom of speech does not exist in China. You cannot speak out against the government. There are definite human rights violations, and the world does not like China when they do these terrible things like they're doing to the Muslims right now with the internment camps and stuff like that we talked about previously. So the Uyghur population, where they say they're being sterilized and they're being jailed and they're being killed, and all these bad things that are happening in China right now, that's a result of communism and the lack of freedom of religion and freedom of speech. So your assignment for today is a little bit different. I'm not asking you to answer a bunch of questions. I would like you to write about population. Do you think population is a problem in the world today? A growing population. Do you think that things should be limited? Should a government or the world be able to tell you how many children that you have? Should it be considered moral for a government or the world to tell you how many kids you can have? If you believe population is a problem, do you have a reason or way to fix that population problem? How would you fix a population problem in your country? Right? So answer that in 50 to 100 words, and that's your assignment for today. I'll talk to you soon.